So now that I have the upper shock mount installed, I have the airbag installed, I can now go ahead and put the spindle on and actually make it look like it's supposed to be together. Also, I will note that this lower control arm has been replaced, so there's a new ball joint down here, and then I went ahead and replaced the upper ball joints on the upper control arms to an upgraded. I tried to find the largest ball joint I could to add strength with all of the amount of added weight with the adapter and the 22-inch wheel that we put on. So this ball joint that I am using came from ProForge, and I will have a link in the description for it if anybody's interested. I think I've encountered my first problem. I'm thinking that the powder coat may have taken up enough space to mess up how this upper ball joint is going down into the control arm. Oh yeah, definitely. So the problem that I have run into is the powder coater has powder coated inside the ball joint attachment point, which has closed it up substantially. So now the top ball joint does not fit the way that it needs to. Who else talks to themselves while they put stuff back together or take stuff apart? Does anybody talk to themselves? It helps me process through to make sure that everything is, going together properly. Especially since it's been so long. So it's been a while since I've had this in the process of actually putting it back together. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bump stops. So these bags have the internal bump stop in them. Should I still run a secondary external out on the control arm? Or is the internal bump stop good enough? No. No, don't run an external, or the internal's not good enough. I'm already Polish, I'm already confused. Help me out. There is no inside bump stop on them. There is. It said there was when I bought them. Or is that just a gimmick? I'm saying with inside the bag. They are not airlift bags. They are from Vixen. I can get you the part number for these. So the bags that I bought. So obviously there's numerous bags to buy. So when I bought the bags, I bought bags with internal bump stops inside of them. I gotta find all my paperwork. So I'm running VXD VXD2500S. I think. So the VXD2500S has an internal bump stop. Built inside of the air spring is a bump stop, which offers many benefits, such as we know the benefits of them. Because the air spring can't no longer be fully compressed, it can safely run at 0 psi, making it virtually maintenance free. I was hoping to talk to a professional and get some input on internal bump stops. Come on, guys. You're not helping me out. You're making me confused, thinking I don't have a bag that has a bump stop inside of it. So the max load on these bags is 600 psi and 2,096 pounds. Vixen, elevate your ride. So Vixen VXD2500S. It is a 1/2 inch NPT single port air spring with internal bump stop. 600 max PSI, 2,960 pound load. They better have them inside. In my little diagram, it doesn't really show it, but it says it does. Where's the other bag at? I can get it. The rear bags are the same way. The 2600s have the internal bump stop too, so it's the VXD 2600S, I suppose. Hello in there. Hello. Got a bump stop in there? Hello? I have to get a flashlight now. What do I do? Cut the bag open to see? Yeah, I gotta look in the other bag. Something's down in there. I need a smaller but brighter flashlight. It was funny too, because we were at the hardware store today. My son said, "Hey Dad, look at these cool pen flashlights." I was like, "Yeah, they're cool." All right, so normally I would advise you not to stick your finger in holes that you don't necessarily know where they go. So I just compressed the bag, and using my pinky finger, there is a bump stop down in there. There is a bump stop in there. It's pretty big too. Now my finger's stuck. Yeah, definitely the other things, right? We're just gonna leave that one alone though. Yeah, so it feels like it's about 3/4 of an inch to about an inch wide diameter, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's in there. And you can definitely see one in this one, just by compressing the smaller bag. You certainly can ask a question. I can't be the only one asking you questions. I just can't guarantee you that you're going to get an answer. Now I'm nervous. I was worried about space. There's a substantial size difference between the two bags. And considering what I knew was going to be done with the truck, he did not want to get involved with cutting everything out. So the 2500s, I mean, while they're rated for the weight, you were the first person that actually told me that they ride better, which in logic thinking, that makes sense, because obviously you have substantially a larger amount of air between the two bags. So the ride quality with the bigger bag would be better. It figures. It always happens when you're explaining something. It's been good for well over an hour, and then all of a sudden you get into explaining yourself and then you freeze. So what I was saying was, I didn't really, I guess, have all the knowledge behind it. As far as my decision, obviously the 2500 bag is a lot smaller in diameter, and we weren't going to get involved in cutting any of the framework to make it work. Now the 2500 bag will hold the weight that it needs to up here, and I have plenty of clearance when it fully compresses out. So maybe moving forward, if there's a next time, I will just go right to the 2600 bag. I'm sure there's plenty of different variations, but it's more or less maybe just not having all of the knowledge. This is technically my first time doing an installation like this. And personally, I was looking at the size of the actual bag in the location that it needed to be. This 2500 bag is substantially larger than the 2500 bag that I was actually running in my Viking project. So I don't really have a more in-depth answer as to why one way or the other. But I can see the difference, obviously, in size, that you would ultimately get a better ride out of a bigger bag. Back to my question now. So now that we've determined that these bags have internal bump stops, if my connection would stop goofing off, what would you recommend? Gosh almighty, stop it already. No, it's me. It's always me. Very frustrating. Lost connection. Alright, well, we're going to take a pause. Timeout. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Throw some fresh grease into the front. How many remember doing this as a kid? Or even as an adult? When's the last time you packed front bearings? Anybody? Ah, you son of a gun. You jinxed it, J-Whip. Just dipped out. Yeah, it was just a split second. I'll take that, though. At least it didn't stay out. Falcar? Folcar? How do you say it? Woo-wee! Actually kind of looks like I got something done. Sort of. These suckers, yeah, man. Beast. It's a good thing, you know. I'm not saying anything, okay? Nothing. Yeah, half a Ugga Dugga. You got it. I still got to put the half a Ugga Dugga on it. Which one? Too many. There it is. I like it. I like it. But to answer your question, no, I don't have a specific spindle torque. I always tighten them up. So in the past, I've never actually torqued the center spindle nut. I've always preloaded it and then just kept spinning the hub until it slows down with the preload, and then just back it off just a tad. Probably should read what the torque spec is and see what that is. But I was taught to just spin it. While spinning, you preload the bearing, and then once you start to get drag on the rotor, just back it off just a tad and lock it in. Right, wrong, or indifferent, let me know. Let's try again. Little dab will do ya, I guess. Maybe. Come on. Now what? Something don't sound right. Powder coat strikes again. Yep. Actually, I know the powder coat's probably built up there. But has anybody noticed the manufacturing in the brake pads being a little bit different now? The quality not so good? Front brake should be something that's relatively straightforward. But having the spindle powder coated has obviously eaten up some of the space. Yeah, that's what it is. So where the brake pads sit into the area of the spindle, all that powder coat has been added to that, which is taking up the space of where the brake pad slips in. I've noticed with buying some of the cheaper brake pads over the last few months, the castings or the manufacturing in some of like where the brake clips fit into the brake pads have to be ground out a little bit. I mean, it's definitely the powder coat that's holding up the brake pad and the brake caliper from going in there. I just have to make the decision whether or not I want to hand file. I should probably just hand file off the surface. And it's a known thing. I mean, when you get stuff powder coated, you always know, be prepared for fitment issues with threads and bolts and obviously front brakes now. Hindsight 2020, I would have just painted everything. Level fabrication, I didn't catch it at the point of when he said it. I wasn't paying attention. And I didn't put it all together, but he had said something about where the caliper slides, and this is what he was talking about. The top and the bottom, or the top and the bottom of where the caliper actually goes in.
Dinner's ready.
And I just got word. Dinner is ready. Well, hello, Cleo. But this is what he was talking about originally. He had made mention about the caliper slides, and I think this is what he was talking about because I couldn't get the caliper in previously without cleaning off these like sliding pads where they go in. So that'll do it. Let's see if I can get lucky. I feel like I need to take a little bit more off, but let me see if I can get this on here before dinner. Ha! We got a winner! There we go. Perfect timing. It's dinner time. That's a winner chicken dinner. I think we're having ham though, so that kind of defeats that. But that's the way to end it. So this is Challenge to Build. Having a brain fart. I'll see you later. Challenge to Build. Out.